Changes in biodiversity have been a constant since life on Earth began. Plant and animal life have adapted at a steady pace to ensure healthy, productive ecosystems. But the well-balanced species communities that have been the staple of life on Earth have become increasingly unstable. With the rise of industry in the 19th century, biological diversity in the oceans has declined at an unprecedented pace. Overfishing, pollution, and changing climate are threatening the future of many animals previously considered immune to environmental changes.
It begins with more science, more learning about our planet, because we really know very little about it, specifically what's under the surface behind me here. Every animal is important, and whether it's a grouper or a shark or a whale or a dolphin or a little tiny bait fish out here off the coast of California, everyone plays a vital role and everything is related together, and we can't disassociate one from the other. And so it's the storytelling and tying in the life history of all these different animals that is the important thing to convey to the public.
The numbers of apex predators like sharks have plummeted in the face of industrial fishing. Changes in habitat have driven ancient creatures like the turtle to the brink of extinction. Changing climate has had a dramatic impact on the production of microscopic marine organisms that represent the basic food source for all life in the ocean. Stopping the loss of marine and coastal biodiversity is critical to saving our ocean.
As we throw off more carbon dioxide, so there's more atmospheric acid that gets dissolved in the ocean, and that acidity affects the growth of a lot of things like coral and shells of animals, and of course their whole life history is affected by a very, very small change in acidity. And so the consequences are very far-reaching, and it's a very serious issue.
There are 7 species of sea turtles around the world, and all are either threatened or endangered. Sea turtles are in every ocean around the globe and travel the seas, using the currents to take them from ocean to ocean. This particular species is the green turtle, which was almost hunted to near extinction for its meat and shell. Their greatest enemy is man because their eggs are collected for food, and in many countries their skin is used for leather products.
If you can imagine a net that's being pulled along the bottom about 100 feet wide, and they literally scrape the bottom of all sessile animals, that includes stuff that you're not targeting, and you leave behind a trail, a ribbon of destruction along the bottom, which will take years to recover, and then you're sorting out a part of that catch, and the vast majority of your catch is bycatch, which is discarded, often composed of juvenile species of many valuable fish and other important resources, just to take out, one part of that catch. I've seen documentaries and footage from Japan, from China, from Hong Kong, from Korea, where daily tens of thousands of sharks are landed, their fins are cut off, and it all goes to this market. How they imagine this to be a sustainable activity, I have no idea, because it's tradition. And how do you change a tradition? How do you culturally change a population to something else? Where environmental issues have come to the forefront for many of us, certainly in first world countries, and artists have played a very important role in conveying the beauty of the natural world, both on land and underwater, to the general public. And our art has become definitely far more relevant in the last 20 years than it ever was in the history of art.
The sea turtle population in Hawaii is one of the few population groups that have been increasing over the last 30 years due to the actions of both the local government and concerned citizens. Luckily, public opinion can play a significant role and has been a key component in numerous recent conservation wins. Hopefully, by working together with the scientific community, While looking for opportunities to speak about these issues, we can build on recent successes and continue establishing protections for the ocean's vulnerable species and habitats.
So I spent 27 years painting giant murals of endangered species, great whales and dolphins and sharks and various marine life. One of the greatest thrills, though, is when I come down off the scaffolding to the ground and I get to talk to a group of kids. And they're so excited because they got to kind of look up there and see how big a human is next to a life-size whale. So one of the great things to see is when a kid kind of takes a paintbrush and makes an animal, you see a little light bulb go on, and they just start to glow. And once they use their creativity to engage an animal through the arts, it's very empowering. It may be the most powerful thing on earth. If they focus on it, then they become very passionate and excited about it. And that experience, I find, never leaves them. They take that through their journey, through their entire life. So then when they become teachers, when they become writers or artists, or they become, leaders that have that already embedded in their consciousness. So that's the investment I think that we can make as artists, as adults. We can invest in our kids so that they look at the animals differently, not as a product, but a product of beauty that's worthy of us and our protection.
Unlike the adults that will just tend to shove it off and overlook it, the kids seem to be more absorbent of this type of information. And I'm very encouraged by that. So I'm spending more time doing schools visits, little half-hour trips, showing them video clips, and of course using the social media to show very short clips of footage, high action educational content, get that wow factor going, to educate them about issues primarily.